guys, Brent here from Premier Homes and Investments.
Bilal here again, here at Premier Homes and Investments, and we're here today. We want to talk to you about seller lead sheets. Oftentimes, obviously, we know in this business, marketing is key. But when you do a lot of marketing and the phone starts to ring, and they definitely will ring, we want to talk about how do you convert these sellers leads into actual deals.
Yeah, the leads are the big thing. You know, you spend all this marketing money and everything like that every single month. But once the phones start ringing, then it's, well, what do we do? We here with Premier Homes and Investments have a unique system that we do. And in a sense, we're using what our friends over at Fortune Builders have given us. Big thing in our system is the seller interview sheet. You're going to get these calls coming in every single day. The big thing with these calls is, not only gathering seller information, but also building rapport with these sellers. Bilal, you want to talk about, the general information part?
Yeah, one of the first things that we do when anytime a seller calls in is that we want to know, obviously, their name and their contact number. That's like one of the number one things that you definitely want to do, just in case you end up hanging up or the phone gets disconnected or anything like that. You want to have a contact number so you can call the sellers back. So you want to get their name as well as their contact information. Obviously, you want to get their property address. Now, we do have quite a bit of things that are on our actual seller lead sheet. Some of the things that you may not want to have, but there are vital information that you always want to have. Again, name, property address, as well as contact information. Another thing that we highly recommend is this is especially when it relates to marketing, some of the marketing strategies, marketing tools that that is working for you is a lead source. And what we mean by lead source is how did they hear about you? What was the source that provided them your information? Did they hear about you from a sign? Did they hear about you from a direct mail? Did they hear about you from online, from social media? Did they see a billboard? Anything? Did they see about you in the newspaper? So what is it that drew them in to hear about you to make them want to contact you?
Yeah, tracking these leads are such a huge part of the business. You want to know, how much of your money is being spent on the right things, and the only way to do that is to track it. So right up here on the corner, we'll log whether it comes in from a bandit sign or probate or whatever it may be. That way you can see how much bang you're getting for your buck. As we segue in from collecting information from the seller, the next thing we want to capture is the motivation. Why are they looking to sell? What's their situation? The last thing that we're going to ask when we're talking to a seller is the price. The first thing we want to do, we want to get information. We want to build rapport with them. Exactly. Because the last thing that anyone wants to hear when they're talking to a buyer is hey, what do you want for the property? How much are we going to give you for the property? So we're looking to find out the motivation, dig in a little bit to their story and what's going on with them. And then we'll talk about price at the last part. Not only with the motivation, we're also going to find out the mortgage information. How much they may owe on the property, because that'll determine whether it's going to be a regular sale for them that they can be free and clear, or it's going to be a short sale situation.
Exactly, that's key, because oftentimes, people may ask how much they actually owe on the property, and so you can kind of understand why they're asking for a certain price. They may say that they want to sell the property for $100,000, and that's because they owe $100,000 on the property. So right away, don't discount it as it's not a deal. If the property is worth $100,000, they want $100,000. But in probing and asking different information and just building that rapport, you'll find out that hey, the reason they're asking for that is because that's what they owe, and as well that they may be upside down on the property and they may 6 months behind on payments. So immediately you start to shift from your regular lead to a short sale lead. And if you're not into the business of short sale, then hey, at the same time, I'm sure there's other investors out there. We do a lot of short sales personally here within our company. You can refer those leads to other real estate investors as well. So
right, as you go down from motivation into mortgage information, we here at Premier Homes Investments haven't even talked about price with the seller at this point in time. But we are taking notes on our seller lead sheet. And we'll provide this to you guys if you want to hit us up on our email at info@premierhomesinvest.com. We'll give you a general one. You can make changes on how you want to and which fits into your company, but we're always logging notes. Another thing about our seller lead sheet is they're stored in a central location. Not only do we have a paper copy, but we also store it in a database. That way, any one of our interns, any one of our employees can go in and find out, John Doe, what his information is, and that they can pick up right on the notes. That's a big part of it. And right below the notes section, we have where you can log the comps. So as we're talking to the sellers, we're on the computer at the same point in time, whether it be looking at Zillow, Trulia, all of those, which weigh a little bit in it, but really we're going to look on MLS and see what the comps are. And at that point in time, it determines whether or not they've already listed the property, which is a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. And he really kind of hit on it big when it comes to systemizing this whole strategy. Is that you want to have it in a systemized way that ideally one day you can stop handling the calls yourself and then pass it on to somebody else, so that they can actually go through here, ask the questions, build rapport with them, and then at the same time put it in a database. That's key, so that everything can be in a centralized location, so that hey, let's say it might not be a deal today, because we also keep things in it, whether it's a cold lead, or a warm lead, or a hot lead. And so just because it might not be a deal today, but hey, 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, this lead can actually turn into a deal potentially for you. So, so in order to do that, you really have to monetize things, keep it in a database, so that you can constantly stay engaged with that. Later on, we're also going to do another video when it comes to follow-up. Follow-up in itself is a huge task. I can tell you personally, we made a lot of money just in the follow-up.
Yeah.
So
it's a big part. Not only in the follow-up system, but it goes hand in hand with the notes on. If Bilal takes a call, and a week later they call back, they're wanting to know what's going on, whether we have an offer for them, I can get right in there to our database and figure out what conversations he's had with them and pick up right where he left off, like it's Bilal talking on the phone. So that's a very important part of the business. And once we build a rapport and go through all of that information and take our notes, when they feel very comfortable with us, that's when we approach them about the price. And then we'll take it from there. And then after we figure out what they're looking for in the price, we can determine whether that's a hot, warm, or cold lead. And then we'll get into our follow-up system. And that'll be on an episode coming up that we'll be doing. But today we wanted to talk about the seller leads, give you guys an idea on how we do things here at Premier Homes and Investments. Now it's the information that we give you're going to tweak it, how it fits your system, whether you have 10, 20 employees or it's you doing it by yourself. This can work for anyone.
Yeah, it definitely can work for anyone. And again, feel free to reach out to us if you are looking for a seller lead sheet. Again, we can send this over to you. Just email us, info@premierhomesinvest.com. We'll send it directly to you. And again, you can kind of change it up, monetize it the way that you actually want to, make it feel comfortable for you. But the key is, relax, have fun. Don't sound like a robot. Don't be scripted. And definitely make it a win-win situation for you as well as the sellers.
Right, exactly. And that's the most important thing. We're willing to provide this. It's not a problem because we're not reinventing the wheel. We wanted to thank Fortune Builders for giving us the opportunity to use their seller lead sheet and tweak it how it fits our system. So we'd like to do that for you guys. So if you need any information, have any questions, feel free to email us at info@premierhomesinvest.com. This is Brent here with Bilal. We're gonna do these education little segments once a week. So next one, look forward to talking about the follow-up system.
Well, take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Peace.